am building out a contact page or a location page, and I just wanted to show you guys the way that you use the map editor. So there's, as you know, there's all kinds of different options within Elementor, and one of the options is Google Maps. So you just go ahead and drag this in, and it's going to go ahead and auto-populate it with some place in London, which obviously you don't want, unless, well, I suppose you might, but in any case, not right this second. So I'm going to add some padding to the top of this just to space it off of this other one so it has kind of equidistant padding spacing. And then I have used the link that I had in there before, this one right here. Click for, that's actually the PDF, excuse me. So this one right here, which takes me to the Camp Tadmor thing. And then see this address here, you can just click this little button to copy the address. It copies it to the clipboard. And then over here, within this item, you're going to have in content, you're going to just go ahead and select all, paste, and it's going to automatically update. And it's going to kind of preview how it's going to look on the page. Now I'm going to add a little bit more height to this, which is going to give it a little bit more kind of context of where this thing is. I'm also going to zoom it in a little bit. So there's a little up button here. You're just going to zoom it in, see what that looks like at 11. That's pretty good. It shows kind of the neighboring towns. I'm going to go one more and see if that's too much. No, that's pretty good, I think, because it shows the main road here, Highway 20, kind of shows where we're at, but I don't know, maybe one more out is better. Yeah, I think we'll go one more out. So I've got a height of 410 pixels. I'm going to update that. See what that looks like in tablet mode. Looks great in tablet mode. And let's see what it looks like on mobile mode. That looks pretty good. Of course, with mobile phone, oh, that needs to go up. In fact, I'm going to reduce the padding here. Let's do this. Let's reduce that padding. It's actually, I think maybe this padding that it's doing that. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So we're going to go right. Maybe 20, left 20. Maybe just 20 all the way around. 20. And then I'm going to adjust it a little bit. Go bottom 40, top 40. That looks pretty good. And then the only other thing is just need to make this logo a bit bigger. It looks a little shrimpy. So we're going to have this thing go up in size to about the max. Mobile width 100%. Update. See roundup. This has got a non-breaking space. I think I might remove that in this case, just because it looks a little wonky. Alright, so here is a new thing that I need to do on this page, because this is an event details page. So I'm going to put a few videos on here so that people can watch some content and see what it's all about. And so adding a video is really, really simple in Elementor. Basically what you've got here, just like a lot of the other things, is a video. You just click this video and you drag it onto the page. That's going to drop it down. It's going to automatically choose to be as wide as the whole page. I may add some padding back in just to bring the size down a touch. But once you've got the video placeholder in here, you can just click on this blue button to make sure that it's selected. And it's going to give you the details on the left-hand side. So the source in this case is Vimeo. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the link. And it should preview the image right away. So at that point, you can set things like a start time if you have a certain start time and you want, or autoplay, mute, loop, and all that stuff. So I'm going to just leave everything the way it is, except I'm going to turn off this intro byline because I don't really need to have that showing up. And I don't really need the intro portrait because we're already on the roundup page. And I don't even need the title because the frozen image here kind of tells you what it's about. And we're going to update this as time goes on. We haven't actually made the video yet, but that gives us a start. Now, something to note that's kind of cool is you can actually create an image overlay. So you can have an image showing here that's more ideal for your page layout design if you want. I'm not going to do that in this case, but it's something you can do, which is a really nice feature. So then when you click it, it would then load the video. So I'm going to update that. And then the one thing I am going to do is I'm going to resize this a touch because it's a little bit wide. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it again to select it. And I'm just going to add some padding to the right and left. So I'm going to give it, I don't know, 30. That's going to just bring it in a bit so that it's not so over the top. In fact, maybe I'll do a percentage instead. Go 10% on the left, 10% on the right. That'll just bring it into the bounds a little bit. It was a little bit over the top before. And update that. So that's as simple as it gets. It's so easy to add video elements in Elementor. And the other thing you can do if you're using some sort of video tool that's not a Facebook not a one that's easily added, like let's just pretend like I'm putting another one right here. And let me show you this other element here, this other option. So you could do a video placeholder. It'll give you Vimeo, Dailymotion. You can do a self-hosted option, which means you'd upload it to the website and then you'd choose the video out of the media library. I would not recommend that, and the reason why is because it's going to use a lot of resources on your site. It's going to slow your site down. And it could potentially slow down the overall site in terms of like a Google indexing speed, because it's going to actually be wanting to preload that video element rather than doing it the way YouTube or Vimeo does it, which basically just loads like a tiny image of the frame. And then when you choose to press play, you've then kind of given permission to download the data. So I don't really think I would recommend that method. So that's what that works. So let me show you one other option you can do. If you've got some other weird location that you want to do, you can type in HTML, and then you can just drop an HTML widget in there, and then that gives you an HTML code area. So then we can go into share here and see this embed code. It just gives you an iframe. So we can click this in and we can just do an iframe, and that will use the iframe there. And in this iframe are some of the options. So like the full screen option, the share, all that stuff. So it's a little bit less, unless you know how to read HTML, it's not going to be as easy to customize, but it is an option for you if you're using something besides Vimeo or YouTube or one of the other options that's built into the Elementor setup. So I just wanted to show you that so you knew how to use that tool. All right, so I am on a page where there's some marketing materials that are going to be able to be downloaded. They're PDFs. And so I'm going to actually add a bunch of buttons to download these assets. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3 buttons side by side. So I'm going to create an intersection. And then I'm going to add another section by duplicating this column, which is going to make 3 wide. And hit the plus button here and grab a button, toss it down in there. And then I am going to change the name of it to half-page flyer. And the link is going to be, I'm probably going to actually download these assets and put them in the folder because they're currently they're uploaded to the Wix site. These are actually old, but I just want to have something on here in case somebody's looking for them anyway. And so what I'm going to do here is this one is going to be centered. I'm going to center all 3 of these buttons, but before I move and make another one, I'm going to go ahead and change the size to medium. And notice how this has rounded corners and this does not. And the rollover states are different as well. So I want to make those all the same because it just looks better that way. So the border radius should be 0, so it gives me a square edge. And the type style should be text so that it's a little bit bolder. So that's upper lowercase, that's upper lowercase. And then the hover state, the background color is going to change to text so that it's black. So now all these buttons look the same. Now one thing you can do, if you've got a call to action button like this register button here, You may consider making these other buttons a different style, like reverse them so they start black and roll to red or something like that. So that's an option. Or oftentimes what I'll do is I'll have a red border with red text, and then when you hover, it'll change to the black, or it'll change to a black outline with black text or something like that. Just a change so that you know that it's not this button. But I think it's pretty obvious. We're on a marketing download page. We're going to have 3 buttons side by side. I don't think anybody's going to be confused thinking that they're registering, so I am not going to do that in this case. And there are some hover animation options. You can have shrink, pulse. There's just all kinds. So here's push. I'm not a fan of these. I think these are extremely tacky looking. That one's not terrible, but generally speaking, like the grow one, I just, you know, when you've already got a roll state, I don't think these are necessary. I mean, it's pretty obvious that you're hovering over the button here. If you don't know you're hovering over a button, you probably should have your eyes checked. So anyway, once you've gotten that done, you're going to go back to content, and the link here is what's important. So one of the things I need to do here is go into media, and I'm going to actually add new, select some files to download. So I've got directions here. I'm going to do full page flyer, half page flyer, and roundup mailer. I'm going to open those, which is going to add them into the media library. And I'm going to go in here and title them so that they are what they are. So this is the full page flyer. Full page flyer. And then this one is the half page flyer. And then this one is the Roundup 2019 mailer. Okay, so the one that I selected was actually for half page flyer, so I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. And then once I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and change that link. Now, one of the things that I would recommend doing, especially when you're in this work state right now where you've got this weird URL, is to actually just remove the URL and keep everything /WP content, because that shows the website that this asset is here, and so it's going to look inside this domain. It'll work just fine, and it's a shorter link, so it just works fine. And then in this link options, whenever I do any sort of a PDF or anything like that, I always want to open in a new window, just because you don't want to have somebody click it and open a PDF, and then when they close the PDF, they're now out of your website. So always good to keep that opening in a new tab. It's not really a new window, it's going to open in a new tab just like this. So now that I've gotten this one styled, I'm going to go ahead and copy this one, and I'm going to paste it right here. And then I'm going to change it from half page flyer to full page flyer. Go back to the media library. Select full page flyers clipboard domain or URL. Paste it. And again, go in here and remove everything forward of WP content. There we go. Update. And then paste here. And this is going to be the mailer. So this is 2019 mailer. And then once again, we're going to click on this asset right here in the media library, which is obviously right there. Copy that clipboard item, paste it here, and once again, go back and remove those things forward of WP content like that. Hit update. And then we'll take a look at our page and make sure everything's working properly. So we should have, those things should scale and then stack just like they do. I may adjust the width of that 2019 mailer one because it's a little narrower and it doesn't look very good. I also might tighten up this space here because it's a little weird, but it is working. There's our full page flyer when it eventually loads. These are large files, so it's not surprising that it's thinking about it for a long time. Weird screen break up there. 2019 mailer. There we go. All right. Alright, so I wanted to show you a little trick here. This is for button styling, and we'll go ahead and go back to desktop. So what I've done is I've tightened these up a little bit so that they're not floating way out and looking all crazy. But notice how these three different things have three different widths. There's a little bit less space here than there is here, and a little bit more space here than there is in the other two. So when we go to mobile, it looks weird. Like this one's a little bit wider than this one, which is a lot wider than that one. And it just doesn't look very good. It just doesn't look finished. So one of the things you can do is you can fill the background of the entire block. So like this whole area here. So that way they take up, because they have the exact same equidistant sizes. And so the way you do that is you go to background in the advanced tab and background type, color, primary. So what we've got here is a primary color, and then you can change the hover similarly to color text. And so that way it does exactly what it's supposed to, and then you just do the same thing on all these. Make sure I'm on the right one here. It's going to do nothing for me. Go back to background, background type, primary, hover, and black. And then do the same thing on this last one. Also in the advanced tab, background, primary, hover, background type, text. So now we've got three equidistant sizes. So let's look at what that looks like on tablet. Looks great. There's a subtle animation shift, which I think's a little weird. So mobile, see how those are nice and equidistant? And they work great this way. It's just when I was going side to side, you can kind of see those lines, and it's a little strange. That is a little odd. Well, I may have to figure out that on the back end, but in any case, that's a good solution to a button issue with widths being different and looking a little funny. Alrighty, so we are going to start working on the home page for this website, and we're going to start by doing that with this slider widget. And just to show you where I found that was in the add template area, blocks, and then you go to category, hero, and you can pick any one of these you want. I kind of think the centered one might work best for my situation, which is why I chose it before. So I'll go ahead and just insert that, and it's going to put it right there at the top of the page. And then the thing that I did to make it a little bit shorter in height is it's showing the content width at 800, which I don't think it's quite that narrow on my site, so I'm going to bring that out to 1,000. And then it's showing minimum height for the viewport, or the view height, viewport height, VH, of 96%. So it's almost the entire page. So I'm going to tighten that up to be like maybe 70%. So then, depending on what the viewport is, it's going to take up less or more room on that thing. So that's kind of what it's doing. That's a minimum height. And then what I want to do here is first of all, I don't like these rotating style headlines. And I also don't want a highlighted one, even though that's kind of cool in some ways. So I'm just going to kill off this headline design here. I don't want that type. I'm just going to do a regular header here. And this is the header settings that I've got. So I'm actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to do, well, you know, let's see. Kind of men's roundup at Camp Tadmor, Oregon. Really, it's more for like keyword purposes. I call it an H1, and I'm gonna style it to be white in this case so that it has more contrast. And I'm gonna also change the style of this photo, obviously. And we're going to do a slideshow, actually, because I want to show multiple images. I'm going to get rid of this one. So let's delete the woman there, because it doesn't make any sense with our event. We're going to use that one. We're going to use this one. Wait. Yeah, let's just create a new gallery. Okay, so I got 2 selected. Let's do guys with a bunch of steak. Do the high ropes course. And maybe this guy. Just to start, maybe I'll clear that. Let's start over. Let's do this one, that one, that one, and that one. Let's just do those to start with. Create a new gallery. I'm not going to caption them. So I'm going to insert the gallery. It's going to just put it in the background there. It's added an overlay, so I'll have easy time seeing what I'm needing to see. But I'm also going to do one thing. I'm going to add a little bit of padding to the top to bring this down a little bit, so I'm not going over everybody's faces as much. So we're going to just go to padding. We're going to add maybe a %, say 10. I'm just going to drop that down just a skosh. Brings it out of the way of those guys' faces. And then I'm also going to add a logo here. I'm going to add the horizontal logo that I've got in a few other spots. So I'm going to add an image right here. And of course, it pastes in this massive image, which is not what I want at all. I might use this favicon because it's huge. No, I am not going to use that favicon. It is bad quality. Yeah, let's just do the regular horizontal image. Insert. Oh yeah, it's got the black. Okay, just kidding. There we go. Let's try this one. It's big. It's too big. Go full. And then let's have this be a width of, say, something like that. I may actually reduce this now. Let's have this be 5 because of the way that looks. Then this text is going to be, let's do the visual. Let's go to that, and there's a B in there. That's no problem. Okay, style, text color is white, and style is text. And then this button is going to be register, so it's going to be the same open link in new tab, same registration link as the main register button. I'm going to use different words though, because sometimes people respond to different words, and that's not a bad thing. And then I just need to style the button. So I'm going to have the text color is going to be white, background color is going to go solid black, and we're not going to do this stupid grow thing because I really hate those animation because they don't look good. That looks good. We'll go with that. Update. So there's that. And then so one more thing I want to do here to make this a little bit flashier, give it a little bit more movement instead of just a regular slideshow, is I'm going to do what's called a Ken Burns effect. And so I've got the background image here, and I'm going to go into style, and there's a lot of options here. So you can do a fade transition, you can slide right. Let me just show you what that looks like. So I have to wait a second for it to show. and slide. So you can do that. You can slide left, you can slide up, you can slide down. Up and down tends to get a little bit busy looking to me anyway. See what that looks like? I'm not really a fan, so we're gonna just do a fade transition. And then we're gonna do a Ken Burns effect. Let's see how that looks. So it just kind of zooms in. And I think Ken Burns is a pretty nice effect. And you can also do zoom out as well. So you can have it zoom out, you can zoom in. See if zooming out makes more sense here. I kind of think zooming out makes more sense here. And then the background overlay, you can affect it. You can adjust it to be lighter or darker. I'm going to bring it a little bit up. I don't want it to be quite as dense as it was. You can also put images on there. So if you're trying to do special effects with like, I don't know, sparks or other things like that, you can do different image effects as well. And then you can change the blend modes. There's just so many choices. You can add a border. It's like if you wanted to have like a white border on this, you could do like a 10 pixel border on here. And you could have the border type be solid. And you could color it white, say. There's just a lot of things you can do. So we've got a Visit Men's Roundup at Camp Tadmor, Oregon, which is really just kind of rich keyword stuff. And then this is more rich keyword stuff. And then we need to have kind of links to get to these inside pages. And so we're going to do some little sections that are going to kind of indicate where to go for different things on the site. So view event details, pricing, yurts, tents, things to do, vision and values, and visit our location type stuff. So we're going to kind of put that all together in one space on this home page, kind of as a little mini landing page. Let's do this. Let's add a call to action row. We're going to look and see if there's a block that I like. So let's do call to action. See if there's anything that's really jumping out at me. Something like this, maybe. I don't know that that's any better than what I could just quick and make up myself, so let's just do this. I'm gonna fill the background with the red tone, primary, and we're gonna put a button just like this register button. In fact, I'm gonna use exactly that register button. Open link in new tab, copy, and then here on this page I'm going to go ahead and paste, and it's pasted that exact same button in there. Of course now I've got a little bit of a quandary because I got a red button with a red background, so I suppose I probably did that wrong. Probably need to do this in the black tone, and I obviously need to add quite a bit of padding to this. I'm going to go ahead and add some padding. We're going to do probably gonna do like, maybe we could go %. 5, that's too much. 3 top, 3 bottom, and then I want to move this to the right, or maybe what I want to do is, yeah, that's fine, let's just move it to the right, and then this. And I'm going to just give it a little bit of padding on the right so that it's not right up on top of that. 20. We'll do 20 left as well so that when it goes to mobile it won't be all weird and off center. And then we're going to add a little header here, which is going to be click to register for Roundup. H2. I'm going to just make that white so that it's a little easier to see. And I think I'm going to adjust this typography because I think it's a little, maybe I'll make it the same weight as the H3s are normally and size it down just a bit. Maybe I'll even just make it an H3 technically. And then I'm going to have this vertically aligned middle so that hopefully it lines up with that button a little better. It looks like it's a bit low. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of padding at the bottom to bring it up. 3, 4. Little guess and check action here. 5 looks like the trick. So let's see what that looks like on mobile tablet. See, that's really tall. We're going to bring that down. I don't like that non-breaking space there. So we're going to do this. Do that. And then mobile. So that's being hidden on mobile because I copied that exact same piece from the main menu, from the navigation menu, and so in responsive it's hiding on mobile. So we're gonna unhide it on mobile. We're gonna center it, and we're gonna center this text on mobile. See, it's aligned. It's got a mobile thing there, so you can change the alignment. And roundup being a pretty long word, I'm going to leave that alone and not try to non-breaking space this because I can see at certain sizes that might be a problem. We've got 2 registration buttons. I wonder if I hide this on mobile. Hide that exact button right there. Responsive, hide on mobile. So that'll bring that up just a bit, which is good. Update. Look on desktop again, so there's where we are. And then we're gonna do a section. We're gonna just put in the stuff from a couple years ago just as more placeholders than anything else. That maybe what I want to do here is do a half and half section. And I think I'm gonna do it full width. And I'm going to do that because I want to have this image go all the way to the edge and not be padded off. So the way you can get rid of this little gutter that's going around here is just go into here and just remove margin and padding. You'll see it fill up. Maybe I'll do an image or a video there. Vimeo. Share. I don't want the embed. I want this. Share. Copy. Then I remove this intro title, portrait, byline. Can change the controls colors to red, which would be kind of fun. I don't know. I'll just go with global. Yeah, red's fine. Sure, let's do it. And then this is going to be a header and text. We're going to do basically this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and edit with Elementor so I can copy. If you want to copy as much as possible, no sense in reinventing the wheel. Copy that. Paste. We'll go ahead and left align it. I'll add a little bit more padding when it's all said and done. So we're going to do % padding. Top is going to be 5, bottom's going to be 5. Left is going to be 5, and right is going to be 5. Probably more like, yeah, let's just do 5. Keep it consistent. Update. And then we're going to do, let's see. Let's just do this for now. Text editor, drop it right there. Paste. And then I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Let's see. Men's Roundup is proud to offer an alternative to our great annual live event at Camp Tadmor the weekend after Labor Day for this year, 2021. The Men's Roundup leadership team, after hearing that we were unable to hold the event again due to restrictions from the state of Oregon, are working together to provide a video series similar to our event, so you and your men's group can hold your own roundup. Okay, what type is this? Is this an H1? No, H2, perfect. So then we shall look at that in tablet mode. Okay. It's not optimal, but it's not terrible. I might have this center vertically aligned middle. That's better. And then on mobile, it'll drop down. That looks good. Desktop. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to vertically align center this. Middle. Update. And then maybe a learn more button. Be good. Button. Learn more. So it's just event details. Perfect. So you don't need the whole www, HTTP, and all that other stuff in there. You just put event/event-details, and it will take you to that link within the same site. So left aligned, small is fine. We're going to style that by removing the border radius, which is going to square up those corners. No border. Hover is going to be black, just like always. Actually, you know, I think I'm going to make an alternate button here. Let's do text color red, background color white. Let's do a border type solid 2, Typography is going to be text, so it's readable. And the role state will be background still white. Text color is text in black. Border color is black. So it just goes from red to black. And this thing is going to now take you to event details. Update. Let's see what that does on tablet. That looks fine. Mobile. We're going to center it. Update. So that's our first section that's going to go to the inside page. And so the next inside page, let's go ahead and bail out of this. The next inside page is marketing materials. But I think maybe because I've got event details, and that's, I mean, this goes with the event, so that's why I put it there. But I think I'm gonna maybe put pricing next up. So let's just copy this, duplicate, and we're gonna flip it. And this is gonna change from a video to an image. I'm going to use that same image that's on the header of the pricing and details page, which is that. And then I'm going to use the header from there, roundup pricing. And I'm going to see about pulling, maybe I'll just pull this right here, churches and pastors. Alright, so I'm wrapping up the home page here. What I've done is put in more of the same section, just flip-flopped it, added some buttons. The contact information content here, the last thing I want to do on that is just take a look at what it looks like on tablet. It looks fine. Mobile. See what that button looks like. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Gonna center that. Center this. And then this button, I'm just going to change the styling on it. So instead of doing the background color and all that stuff on this button, the border, I'm going to have that be a background fill, color white, and border solid, red, hover, black, maybe not. Let's go back. Let's just leave that alone like that. I think this one is going to go back to responsive reverse columns. Getting to roundup. Background type, color, white. just to give it a little bit of pop to stand out from the other stuff. Alright, so I've got most of the site done. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to show you how this translation system works. So up here at the top, there's a little thing that says Translate Page. So I'm going to translate the page. And what that's going to do is going to open this item here. And what this does is, right here there's an English, and then there's Español de Mexico. And it looks like I've already gotten some of this stuff entered, which is great. I still need my translator to do this part, so I'm going to leave that alone. I suppose I could do a Google version and see if it works. For now, I can do that, and then he can change it later. So, translate from English to Spanish. Enter that. We'll just put that in there for now in hopes that it's at least close. Badink. Save. Save translation. Close that. It's going to bring me back to the page, and it's going to allow me to translate using Google if I want, but the best way to do it obviously is to click this button. So then I am going to go to the next page, which is going to be the FAQ. So here's our FAQ page, and up here, fortunately, I've got a guy that is translating all this stuff, so I'm going to go to where that FAQ part is, which is food. Food, weather, and all this stuff. So we're going to do translate page again. And we're going to do food at roundup, which I guess is this for now. Select string. Food at roundup. English is Mexico. Save. And then this stuff here, we're going to copy. Not the whole thing. Let's not do the whole thing, including the headline. I'm going to paste. Save. Weather. Changes to Clima. Save. And then we'll copy this. So anyway, you can see how this is going to go. Let me just quick and show you how that works. As soon as I get out of here. Guess I got to do that first. Save it. And it's not going to be completely done, but you'll see how it starts to work. So there's the part that I've already done, and I'm down to about there, so obviously it goes back to English at that point, but it's pretty slick. Pretty nice piece of software. And really, really easy to use, and allows you to customize exactly what you want to say so that all of the sentence structure and all of that is exactly as it's supposed to be. Pretty awesome. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how I SEO'd this site, and I also wanted to show you a few edits that I got since I put this site live on the web earlier this week. and I had some edits from the people on the board, and so I have a new registration link that I need to put out all over the place where there are registration links on the site. So I'm going to copy that. And this is an example site. I have not opened up another version of it. So I'm going to just go ahead and go into, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to edit with Elementor the home page, where several of the instances of the registration link are present. And as soon as this loads up, so I'm going to edit the header. That's that common header. Got it. Thank you, Yoast. And then this needs to change to this new link. Paste. Make sure it's opening in a new window, which it is. Great. As soon as that saves, we'll move on to the body. So we're going to edit the page now. And we've got a registration link here, which again we're going to copy and paste. Update. We've got this one. They're all over the place. I'm a real big believer in too many registration links instead of not enough. So there's that. That takes us inside. And that takes us to, there's nothing in the footer. Okay, good. Everybody generally really likes the site, so I'm happy about that. It makes me happy when people like the design. I think it came out really nice. There's a few things I would like to tweak on it, I think. Something I was noticing when I was re-watching the videos as I was editing was I was noticing that on mobile that this bottom thing here is centered, but all of these others are not. So I'm going to recenter these on this page just because it's weird. And I like them centered better. Especially since, you know, most of them are centered. It was just weird that some of them were not. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to just show you the SEO aspect of the site. So let's just get out of Elementor because Elementor has nothing to do with SEO. Elementor is purely a design thing. So you can go into edit page here, or when you're in the original, so there's our block editor that came up, or when you're in our original, let's go back into the back end here. So this is WordPress's back end. Wow, it looks a little different. I guess updated to WordPress 5.7 since we did this. So anyway, you go into pages, and in the back end, there's all of these choices. You got, you know, of course you can trash a page, which we don't want to do now. We're going to do regular edit. So you can view the page, which will literally just open a viewing element. It'll take us back to where we were a minute ago. Or you can edit the page. If you edit with Elementor, of course, it's going to open it, but with all of the Elementor tools available. So we're going to edit. And when you go into edit from this page, it takes you again to the same type of thing. So let's look at these two pages. We'll look at home first. So home has a, I've created a focus key phrase based on the home page. In fact, we're going to just go to the home page on here so we can kind of compare and contrast. We'll go back to kind of half narrow width. Maybe I'll half width this so you can see both of them at the same time. So, or at least part of them both at the same time. I'll tighten this up some more so we can see more of it. All right, so the key phrase, if you click this little doohickey here, it'll tell you what the key phrase is. So how to choose the right focus keywords. In the Yoast SEO plugin, you'll find that a focus key phrase input field for every page on your site. Here you can enter the keyword or key phrase you'd like the page to rank for in Google. If you do, Yoast SEO will run a check on the content of that page to see if search engines will recognize what your page is about. So really it's all about, in this case, this is the homepage for Men's Roundup Christian Conference. And so in that key phrase, I want to use those same types of words in the SEO title. So I've got Men's Roundup, Camp Tadmor, Oregon, Christian Conference. So I've got all of those words in there. And then also, when you do your meta description, which is kind of the description of the page, it's like the long form version. So this is what will show up on a mobile site. and this is what'll show up on a desktop site. And the SEO title, see this green line? You want it to be in the green. So if I were to remove conference, see how it goes orange? We don't want that. We want green. Green is good. Orange is bad. Red is really, really bad. If you're doing red, you might as well just not even bother. Really, I mean, to a degree, of course. So what we want to do ideally is we want to get all these words into the meta title and the meta description. So we've got Roundup in there, and it actually highlights them, which is kind of handy. I'm going to go back to the mobile so you can see all of them. So it highlights them. So I've got Roundup and Christian. I don't have conference in here. So in an ideal world, we should have Christian and conference also in this meta description. So I've got welcome to the Men's Roundup website, your source for information about the annual CVNW Christian Retreat. So if I changed retreat to conference, that would be better. Of course, now I've got too many words, so I'm going to have to adjust that. But I've got that, and then I also want to have Men's Roundup. And I see how I've got the no apostrophe there, and I've got an apostrophe here. It doesn't like that. So we're going to go ahead and remove the apostrophe. So now we've got Men's Roundup Christian Conference on the title in the meta description. So welcome to the Men's Roundup website. Welcome to the Men's Roundup website. Learn more. I'm going to say learn more about the annual CVNW Christian Conference event held at Camp Tadmor, Oregon. I think that works really well. It gets all of my keywords in there from the key phrase. It ties in really well with the description there. And then you can hit update here. So your readability analysis, this is for the page. So that's the entire page, including all of the other content on this page. And the SEO analysis is okay. So let's see what we can do to improve our SEO analysis. So if you had premium, they give you some other benefits to it. But let's see, key phrase and introduction. Your key phrase or its synonyms do not appear in the first paragraph. So what they're saying is that Men's Roundup Christian Conference does not appear in the first paragraph. Men's Roundup is a Christian men's camping retreat and conference. Well, they are right there. But it's probably not seeing the apostrophe S. It's not seeing this exact term. So I could adjust that, but I've also got Men's Roundup Christian Conference right here in the very first headline. So I'm going to choose to ignore that at this point. So the focus key phrase was found 0 times. It's saying that this exact key phrase was found 0 times, except it's actually right there. So I could probably work it in this body copy somewhere. Let's see. Host your own roundup, staying at roundup. Maybe I'll work it into this exact spot right here. Let's do this. I can't read what all that is. Edit with Elementor. We'll just edit with Elementor right here. There it goes. Okay. So it is loading, and I was thinking that I might try to put Men's Roundup Christian Conference exactly as it says in the key phrase somewhere in this first paragraph. So maybe right here. The Men's Roundup with no apostrophe Christian Conference is don't need to put Christian again, is a men's camping retreat and conference. Is a men's camping retreat. We don't need to have conference again because it's a little redundant. Is a men's camping retreat held in a forested mountaintop setting at Camp Tadmor in Lebanon, Oregon, where men are encouraged. Perfect. I don't think we need to have C capital there or there, so we'll remove those. And update. Let us see what this thing says when I hit refresh. See if it likes it better. why these things are not communicating. I did update it. Hard refresh. Okay. The focus keyword was found 1 time. That's less than the recommended minimum of 2 times for a text of this length. Okay, so let's put it somewhere else. Staying at Roundup. There are lots of options when it comes to staying at Roundup. One of the best is staying together in your own cabin. Find out more about the cabin lottery system, staying at Roundup, and pricing using the links below. There are lots of options when it comes to staying at the Men's Roundup Christian Conference. If I can spell Christian, it'd be good. I don't want to have Christians be capped, actually. Christian Conference. But one of the best is staying together, so we'll update that. That'll be 2 times. Single title, H1 should only be used as your main title. Find all the H1s in the text that aren't the main title and change them to a lower heading level. So then, let's look at our body. Let's make sure we only have 1 H1. So that is our H1. There should be no further H1s anywhere. That's obviously a paragraph tag. This is an H3, H2, H2. I'm fairly certain there's not more than 1 H1. I don't know what it's thinking. H2, there's only 1 H1. It's smoke and crack. Okay, did that. Key phrase in subheading. Use more key phrases or synonyms in your H2 and H3 headings. Image alt attributes I've already got on all my images. Add your key phrase or synonyms to the alt tags of relevant images. Well, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't done that. I could do that. Let's do that. Let's update this. And let's go to back to the dashboard. We'll just leave this other one open so we can see all these little notes. Home to the range. Media library. Okay, so we're going to look through the media library. So we could put it on the logos. That would make a lot of sense, right? Men's Roundup. So we could do Men's Roundup. We've already got Roundup. We don't need to type that twice. Christian Conference graphic logo. In fact, I'm going to copy this because every one of them logos is going to get that treatment. Okay, so as soon as I click off, you see how it's doing this little thing? That means it's saving. So we're going to bail out of that. We're going to do this one. Ink. And then we're going to do this one. Well, no alt text. My bad. Black horizontal logo. Do that, and we'll do this, the ink. And then we're gonna do Christian Conference. This one is the favorite icon. And I don't know what that is, but we're not doing that. But ink. Favicon. Then we're going to do this one. Red, reverse, paste, and I see what's going on. Yeah, we're not doing that either. Okay. So I've done all the logos with that. Maybe I'll do this one too. Men's Roundup Christian Conference Worship in the forum, because that's really what that is after all. So we're using that extra key phrase all over the place, which will not hurt our SEO, I'm sure. So I have done that, and now we're going to do another hard refresh, because that's how we do it, so that this thing notices what I'm trying to do. All right, let's see what our SEO analysis is now. So it's starting to look, let's see, key phrase in the slug. Part of your key phrase does not appear in the slug. So a slug is, just for the record, a slug is when you go to a page, all pages. A slug is like on the home page and you go into quick edit. This is the slug. So home. So instead of home being home, it'd be home dash men's dash roundup dash Christian dash conference. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a fan. That is a wordy sort of way to go. It's not necessarily a bad strategy for SEO, but I kind of feel like some of this is a little bit over the top. I can tell you one thing. You go to men's roundup on Google, you're going to find us right at the top. And that was with an absolutely terrible Wix site that was never remotely SEO'd at all. So I'm not really all that worried about it, to be completely honest. Now, we're not trying to attract people from all over the world with this thing. We are literally just trying to get people that know about the event or know somebody that's going to the event that wants to show up and needs to get a little bit of information about how to get here, how to take part, what to do, what to bring, what not to bring, and all that kind of stuff. So that's really what the website is about. I'm not going to get super crazy with SEO, but I did want to show you guys how to do it and how to recognize what you can do and to use the Yoast plugin kind of to its fullest so that you can, oh, and one other thing. Hey, I totally forgot about this, but this is really important, and I did not do this before, and I'm going to do it now. So one of the other things here is in this main segment here, when you come into your home page, there is a preview that you get. So you've got I've got my key phrase, which is actually down there. But in here, you can add, like, if you have another site that has similar content on it and you want to have them connect over the web, then you can use this canonical URL to do that. You can adjust like SEO schema here if you're doing some real advanced SEO type stuff. I'm not doing that. But the main thing that I forgot about doing, which I really need to do, is this featured image. Because what it'll do if you don't pull a featured image, as you probably saw when I did a quick Google search, is it'll pull up the very first image on the home page. So let me get out of here and I'll go view. So it's literally pulling this image as the preview. Not a very good preview for that page, I don't think. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a featured image. And ideally, you don't want to use a really mega slider image. And so I may actually pull a slightly different image, because this is a big image because it's designed for a big slide. And so it's a good sized image. So I may make a smaller version of these that's more like 20K or something instead of 200K. Because I just pulled these right off of Facebook, which is why they're kind of big. So that is something I'm going to definitely do. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to have you watching me playing around in Photoshop. But I am going to definitely do that. So I'm going to go through all the pages, and wherever there's an image, so I might pull one of these images from the slider to start with, or I might, and on the cabins and yurts page, I'm going to pull that page or that image. Basically, all the pages have at least one image on them. They've got this image at the top, and I'm going to use that image to be the highlight thing. Maybe I might change this image too, because it has nothing to do with vision or values. In any case, that is what I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully got a lot out of it. There's lots of little details in there, and you can watch my videos and see where all of the little segments are in the video. There's kind of like little pink highlight spots where there's words, and you can kind of skip to the spot you want to watch and watch that element, and hopefully get lots out of those and enjoy and learn a lot. So thank you very much. Feel free to drop a comment in the segment below. Join me on my Facebook private group. And, if you have a website you're working on and you want me to look at it and maybe give you some tips, pointers, or otherwise, or if you have suggestions for my design, I'd love to hear them. So thank you very much for watching. This is Eric at Learn Design with Eric.